Okay, we're finally live. Welcome to yet another show that I hope to be able to make. I'll be back on the weekly podcast, but this is going to be us talking about the one thing we're all here about, and that's comics, and that's why I'm calling it This Week in Comics. So I'm going to go through a few of the comics that I've flipped through, read, the ones I recommend, the ones I bloody hate, and the ones that are actually quite a surprise that Gun Honey is still a great comic. Everyone should pick that up. So, where's my slideshow? To begin, we have Action Comics. And it's been good, man. Action Comics has been one of the better Superman books. Like, it's sad that the actual Superman book isn't nearly as good as this, but Superman is still in War. He's still deported because there's radiation all over the place. And he's still Superman. Like, I know it's shocking, it's surprising to say something is best because, hey, Superman is acting like himself. But it is, and he is. And there are like a bunch of aliens out there who are, I mean in World War, that have been enslaved and they've died while there. He's like, I'm sorry I wasn't here before, and I promise that if I find someone out there that is, you know, from your race, your kin, I'll protect them. Because I failed to protect you, and it's good, man. I hope that this is good enough to get sales, because what we've seen recently with comics is that if any Batman, people don't want it. I don't know if this is the Bendis effect where people are like, oh, Superman, fuck that. And people haven't woken up to it, but dude, this is great. The Martian Manhunter, like, backup story, whatever it is, I do not care for it. Stop trying to sell me like extra 4 pages or however many pages it is for like an extra $1. Comics are expensive enough as single issues, and you're not helping yourselves when you're doing this. It's fucking stupid, DC. Stop it. Next on our list is the 10 Deaths of Wolverine. Oh boy, oh. Here's the thing though. Wolverine barely shows up in here. He shows up in like the last 2 or 3 pages. This is mostly about Moira McTaggart. It's about Moira McTaggart. I don't know if I can say it in a more Scottish way. Anyway, it's not a Wolverine comic, and this is the worst thing. And whatever this design is, this Tron-inspired design, it's fucking stupid. Like if there's a bad way to rip off Tron, this is it. And fucking Jane Foster, Valkyrie shows up in the middle of this. I'm like, what the fuck? It's weird, man. It's stupid. The art is okay, although it does need some editing. Where the artist likes doing this patching thing on people's noses, especially on females, and it doesn't always work. And this is where an editor would be like, hey, I know this is your style and you like doing this, but here she looks ugly because of it. Tone it down. But no, man, I don't know what this is about. Wolverine seems to be dead fucking again. But he's also not dead, he's also not Wolverine. It's fucking stupid. Like this is an actual skip. Like action comics, this is a recommend. Like if you like Superman, if you've been asking for like a proper Superman, this is it. Although he has he has the power because with meaningful, he's meaningfully depowered within the story. It's not like just randomly depowered. He's in war, they've prepared for them. And there's like red radiation, so he's fighting like a mortal. He's learning how to fight like a mortal. But this is a recommend. This thing fucking ate. This is fucking stupid. The cover is even more stupid. Oh boy. Next is the most. Is this the most disappointing new launch of the XMen since like forever? Because the first issue was great, and then the next thing was forgotten, never to be used again. And then he turned Nightmare, Mephisto, that demon guy that feeds off of nightmares. He turned him into a little bitch that Jean Grey. She literally pulled him by his collar and bitch slapped him. This is, yet again, as I've said it many times before, an absolute misuse of artists. Pepe Larraz draws like a motherfucker. Like, he is the best of the best. Like, look at this fucking cover. It is beautiful to behold, but the story is dog shit. Cyclops died, and have the and he can't return to their treehouse in fucking New York because he died very publicly. Now he has to run around as like Captain Krakoa. It's fucking stupid. The whole mutants can't die because they get resurrected. Oh boy, this took away so many stakes, and now it's throwing in like additional elements that you need to keep track of, and you just can't do a proper story because hey, there aren't any real stakes because they can just fucking get revived. It's stupid. Like Jerry Duggan or Gary Duggan or whatever the fuck the guy's name is ruined this fucking thing in like 4 issues. Oh, Marvel also couldn't keep Pepe Larraz longer for like 4 issues, or was it 3? But he's back now. He's been back like since the previous issue. But Jesus fucking Christ, this is the worst, the biggest disappointment ever. I don't know how you fuck it up. Look at fucking My Hero Academia, stupid and copy that. I know My Hero Academia is like lifting off of a lot of franchises, especially Western comics, but it's doing it properly. You know, this is I don't know. This is just disappointment. It's just pain. Not a recommended story-wise, but if you're a fan of Pepe Larraz, do it for him. Do the Homer Simpson thing. Do not look at the word balloons. Go with white out in them and just look at the art, because the art is beautiful to behold. Next up is Flash, and oh my god, I've been so conflicted on this new Flash one ever since Williamson went, because the guy had that amazing interactive issue where like pages were like sideways, upside down, and Dr. Fate was like breaking the fourth wall. He's like, reader, turn this page around, flip it upside down, go back and think what the symbols are. It was fun. That one is fun. And then it just grinds to a freaking halt because we're fighting for the trade. And then there's like another issue where it's like okay, and there's another slow one like the previous one, and now there's this one which is okay. I like that he's including the Flash helmet more. This is Wally West in case you didn't notice, and the only way for you to notice is by looking at the mask on this Flash and seeing, oh, he has the white eyes, that is Wally, because Barry took his off. Because hey, people get scared by white eyes, that's why Batman uses them. I want people to trust me, so I'm going to show my eyes. But Wally's costume, the one designed by Brett Booth, is fucking awesome, and I don't know why you would use it. You had that Wally saving Private Wally trait where Brett drew it and he used the costume, and it's, I don't fucking know what they're doing with Wally anymore, dude. Just the more I think about it, the more painful it gets. And I don't, oh my, where's Jeff Johns? Can you just get another rebirth Electric Boogaloo, set everything back in order, and put Jeff Johns in Flash. I don't know how you manage 2 Flashes though. I don't know how you manage both Barry and Wally in one book, and I don't think you can do it in one book. And the question is, should you be doing it in one book? I know Dan DiDio hates sidekicks and whatnot, but I think there's a world where we can have a Flash book where it's Barry, and we can have a book about Wally. Here's the thing, they're both so much about family, both when Barry's in the storyline and both when Wally is in the storyline, because we have the twins now. They're finally back. So I don't know how you fix, it's not an easy fix, and just putting 2 Flash books and calling them both Flash isn't gonna help. So the thing I think that can be done is just have your Flash with Barry, have the Justice League with Barry as Flash, and I guess just throw Wally back in the Titans like we had a Dan Abnett and Brett Booth run, or quote-unquote run. But that one was good, man. And when you want to tell them, here's the thing about team books, at least this is my opinion. You can make it about, you can make each story to be more focused on one team member, and then have stories where it's focusing on more than one. But we've seen it done again properly in My Hero Academia, where Deku will not always be the protagonist of a story arc. And that's fine, because he is still there. And I think that's how they could, probably should, be doing team books. Like, hey, we are a team, we do things together, but sometimes one of us will be like more important to the story. Like with the fucking Judas contract, or like the first, was it 4 or 6 issues of the New Titans run with the Rebirth Titans run, where Wally was the main guy, because you know he was shifting in and out of time and all that jazz, and it was fucking good, and I loved it. But this specific Flash issue is, it's okay. It's not. It does have some. Here's the thing though. I think the art's kind of not selling me on it, because while there's some, there's action. There's more with the twins, I think. While this is going on, I think it's a bit slow. This is also writing for a trade, so we gotta pad it out. But I think the way it's paneled doesn't sell the action well enough. And this again, with a proper editor and an art director, this can be fixed. But no, we gotta have editors who don't know what a fucking panel is, and Yeet, our art director. Oh my god, this is just painful. I don't know, this Flash run has me all sorts of weird. And if you want to read a proper Flash run, just go read Grant Morrison or Jeff Johns's. Jeff Johns's 3 trade collection of Jeff Johnson's Flash and Grant Morrison's Flash. Those are 4 trades that are absolutely worth your money and time. And Josh Williamson's, like I had just finished the 3rd volume of Jeff Johnson's Flash, and I started reading Josh Williamson's run, and it felt like home. They weren't the same comfy slippers, it wasn't the same couch, but it was in the same room. And I still had a couch and the slippers, although they were a bit different. It was good, man. And I was sad it ended. And now it's fucking weird. I'm glad we're getting people who are here's the thing though. This guy, I'm bad with names, so I apologize for not remembering the writer's name. He knows about Flash. He's not someone who will just yeet it onto the Flash and he's like, oh well, he Flash fast, feet go brr. No, he actually knows about and Barry and Wally and the family. But I don't know, man. There's missing that X factor, that special factor. I hope this fucking picks up. Next is Deathstroke Inc., which has a new artist on issue fucking 4. I fucking hate this. I hate it when they switch artists. Just get a motherfucker to draw your comic for at least 12 issues. Give me a year of the same art, because this is... Wow, I think this is Pantalena. Paolo Pantalera or Pantalena, I don't fucking know. Paolo. He's a buff Italian dude, if I recall correctly. His art is solid, I like his art. But I don't like changing artists. If you're gonna stick with Porter, stick with Porter for 12 issues and get a fucking editor and other to be like, hey, Mr. Porter, fix your wonky proportions, mate. What the fuck? You're a veteran. You've been drawing for longer than most assistant editors have been alive. Fucking fix this shit. But yet again, I thought they were gonna be isekai in this issue, but you know, they were just like mind swiped. They were like tricked. They're like, oh, this is yet another society of evil men that are trying to hire heroes and other bad guys to fight other bad guys. It's fucking weird. The team up is weird, but it's still entertaining. And they're acting like themselves. And Deathstroke fucking put a cap into people. He shot people dead, which is proper Deathstroke. So, hopefully they keep this. This isn't just a fill-in artist, and we're gonna get Porter again next issue. Because this is like the worst thing that comics do, right? Like, they keep switching artists. Like, they still have PTSD from the Image breakout days, and they're like, oh, even though we're DC, that didn't happen to us, we're still gonna fucking do that. Fucking why? Put it in like a contract whenever you get an artist on a series that they will draw for 12 issues at the very least, and when they get near those issues, be like, hey, you wanna go for another 12? We can get like a fill-in artist for like an issue or 2. You can have your summer vacation, and then go for another 12, so we can keep the thing going. Here's a controversial take. If an artist is like, I will go for another year, but I'm gonna need a month or 2 break, just don't publish the comic. I know it's never been heard of before, but it is in manga. Let's say we put Thor 50 Minutes on Superman. He's like, hey, I've been enjoying this for like 12 issues, I'm gonna need like a month or 2 months, let's say 2 months break, you can just go, hey, Superman will be on break for 2 months. And we will be back with Jorge fucking drawing. And probably, hopefully, Chuck Dixon or Jeff Jones writing. There we go. And maybe you put out like, I don't fucking know, there's gonna be Action Comics. Anyway, so fucking do that. Superman 7 needs to get a proper artist. But there are ways to resolve this stuff, because it's hard as a customer to go like from Porter to Pantalina and then to probably, let's say, fucking Vic Bogdanovich, and you're like, why? Just keep to one artist, and if they get bored, you know, then fucking do it, because having someone who doesn't want to draw Superman for an extra couple of issues is gonna be painful. But this is a recommend because it's weird, but it's entertaining, and I hope the action picks back up, because this was a bit of a slower issue. There has to be more action. Like, enough with this fucking stupid 6 pages of talking and explaining the plot and flooding the page with whites. If this is a $5 or $6 comic that you are asking people to come back in month after month, give them a proper reason to. Although this one does, but you're not helping yourself with changing artists every 4 fucking issues and having a high-ass price tag. Oof, next one. Did I get enough water? Oh boy, no. Oh, professional didn't set up water. Next is Detective Comics. I should probably keep track of the issues and tell you guys. And this has been coming out weekly, which is fucking great. But also, I don't know if this is sustainable, and I don't know if this is a temporary thing just for this arc while we have Ivan Rice, or Reese, I think it's Rice, on it. And my god, dude, the art is fantastic on this. Ivan Rice is a veteran, the guy can fucking draw. But I have one gripe. Since he is that old school DC House style guy, he often puts a lot of ink, a lot of lines on female faces, especially when they're expressing a bit more emotions, and that doesn't always lend to them looking appealing. I get it with, I think it was Liv, Ludola, Joker's girlfriend here in the bottom right. That's perfect use of like blacking out, because you know it helps out the mood and yada, and the expression, yada yada yada. But in like regular talk, like you can see here on Barbara's face, there are like some slight inclines that those don't look right, like those don't look appealing. Like an editor here, an art director would be like, hey guys, I know this is what you're doing and it's anatomically and, you know, draftsmanship wise correct, but let's pull back a bit on putting render lines on women's faces, because they need to be beautiful. Our characters are beautiful and they need to look the part. And the art is fucking fit. This whole Ivan Rice on Detective has been fucking awesome art-wise. Story-wise, Marika Tamaki thinks she can run she can slide a fast on buying, but nah, dude. Like, this is the reason I picked this page, because a Batwoman's dialogue. She's like, wait, it took you 5 minutes to like think and say something and, you know, comment on what I said. I'm like, no, dude, it's not stupid, Mariko Tamaki. And she's been doing these very thin slides, where in her entire run so far, each ending arc has been a complete and total disappointment, because it was never Batman who was the main driving force. It was always someone else, or, you know, oh, it just happened. Her last fucking ending was like, oh, I literally happened to find this, and I used it to fry the parasite monster. It's fucking stupid. These are very thin slides against the male characters that I don't like. Nightwing is not stupid. He acts silly on purpose. He's lighthearted, but he's not stupid. And I'm not for, like, here's the thing though. I recommend this, but only in trade format, because so far the artists on Mariko Tamaki's runs have been exceptional. I mean, Dan Mora, Veg Bogdanovich, he's Slavic, it's Bogdanovich. And now Ivan Rice, like, she's been mistreating, let's say, artists, absolutely gods of comic art. And the only reason I can still recommend it is because The stories are passable enough if you ignore the endings, but the art is so good that I would recommend you get the trades, not a single issues, because it's fucking expensive as well. However, this is like $5 a week for one comic. Compare it to manga, where I can get for $10, I can get a 224, 240 page tome, a tankobon, a collected volume, for $10. Literally 10 times the content for twice the price. It's fucking stupid, dude. But here's the thing though, we had a big review with what's going on in the new Arkham Tower, and it's good. That review was good. The slight against the characters, not good. And there's a moment where Huntress looks like she murdered someone in her psychosis, and she says it was like a parasite, but we didn't. Oh, we didn't see a parasite because his eyes were like all gouged out. So she did murder someone. She's still struggling with the parasite, which is good continuity. But oh my god, we're gonna have yet another disappointing end, or this is going to be less disappointing, because here's the thing: the previous two arcs, Batman was in them, and Batman left Gotham. So now this isn't about Batman. It's about everyone else in the family, which is good because I like Detective Comics being a bit more the Bat family, not just Batman. But we have Batman. He has to be the lead guy. He has to be the one to finish the arc and move the plot along, not everybody else. But here's the thing though, since this isn't about Batman, this is about everyone else being here, I think this one will be okay, because she won't fail on making Batman the main guy. Here's my other gripe. Cassandra Cain is here, and she's also being called Batgirl. And she doesn't speak in a broken language, in a broken way. She used to speak at the start of Rebirth, and I like that. Now she just speaks regularly. And I think I prefer broken language Cassandra. Anyway, this is a recommend in trade format. If this is a weekly release in Ivan Rice, they keep up the art quality, which is fucking beautiful. I mean, this is also Daddy Mickey inking, so these guys are a fucking awesome team. But if this can be kept up weekly for like at least 12 issues, I'm fucking down, dude. Like, if this is the way to do it, I'm fucking down. Superman 78. Rob Venditti knows Superman. This is this one page is what Superman is. Just like that one page of Doomsday Clock where where Dr. Manhattan was like, "Hey, square up, bitch." And just as he was about to get in Superman's face, Superman hit someone next to him. He was like, "Hey man, this picture keeps falling out of you with this girl. Like, is she important to you? Do you need help?" That is Superman. And this is Superman. The art is atrocious. This is not the kind of art you want to put on a Superman book. And no wonder it's not selling. This is like the most generic Procreate digital art you're gonna find out there. Like, this is indistinguishable. And it's amateurish. This should not be put. I don't know why they put great writers with like mid-tier to dog shit artists, and like mid-tier to dog shit writers with like amazing artists. Like, you're not trying to balance the scale. If you want to really sell comics, do it like you did with New 52 Batman. You put Scott Snyder and you put Greg Capullo. That fucking thing sold. Why? Because they're both considered amazing. You put the two of them together. And now I'm not a big fan of Scott Snyder now, because he still hasn't learned how to flood the goddamn page. He's a novelist working in comics. He's not a comic book writer. He's a novelist in comics. And that's not what I want. But this is the conclusion to the Brainiac storyline, where Superman obviously saves the day. It's so good, man. I'm not a Superman fan, and I enjoyed this thoroughly, but the art is such a letdown. Like, put Jorge Jimenez, put fucking Vic Bogdanovich, put anyone with a more dynamic style, and this is going to sing. Put Brett Booth on it. Oh my god. I would recommend this because it's a good story, man. It's a good Superman story, and Rob Venditti is an absolute god when it comes to this. He was also good on fucking Green Lantern. But the art is such a letdown, dude. It just pickled over again. Next we have everyone's favorite writer to hate. Donnie fucking hates him. Mjolnir, or the spirit within Mjolnir, the mother of storms or whatever, the queen of storms, is a woman, and I think some time ago it was established that Mjolnir was a man, and of course it's gonna be a fucking woman. It's stupid. Nick Klein though, fuck the artist, fuck the writer. You know we're all about the artist here. Nick Klein though is such a hard carry of an artist. That fucking guy can draw his ass off. And if you were to buy this Thor collection, this Thor series, it will probably be only because of Nick Klein's art, because Donny Cates has fucking daddy issues in his shows. This stupid, like, Thor, this obnoxious kid, like, childish king who just snaps at his father every time he has a chance to, and of course he's not worthy again for like the upteenth time this decade. It's only been like 2 years then, like Jesus fucking Christ. It's stupid, and like the spirit within the hammer is like, oh, you think worthiness was, you know, being, you know, let's say good character and protecting and yada yada. She's like, no, being worthy of my power is to smash and to destroy. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And it's again the wrong lesson to learn from Scott Snyder is to base a story on something that happened like a bajillion years ago. It was never mentioned in the comics before. Like, stop fucking with the past and try to build with what you already have. I know it's hard to build with things that better writers than you have created, but that's your fucking job as a writer, as a comic book writer. Not to be like, oh, this happened a bajillion years ago, and now it's come back to bite us, you know. The chickens are coming home to roost, and it's fuck, you know, I'm tired of these storylines. It was the same fucking thing with Venom and King in Black, and now it's the same fucking thing with Thor. It was the same thing with Meadow. It's like, oh, this happened like a bajillion years ago, and everything's been letting it. Fuck off. If you buy this, buy it for the art. Otherwise, don't fucking bother, because it's obnoxious at this point. Now, my favorite DC book, fucking Robin. I hate that they've changed the artist. I fucking hate it. It's not even Television. This is issue 10, I think. And it's like the third artist we're seeing so far. I'm like, fucking stop, dude. Please! It's Josh Williamson writing again, and he is nailing it at this point. I don't have any gripes with the writing this time. I think there's still a bit of padding because we are writing for a trade. There isn't an editor out there, or general manager, or editor, whom's the fuck, to say, hey, hyper compressed storytelling. We're asking people $5 a month. A month. Once this is a monthly release, people need to get hooked enough so they can come back next month. Because manga and, you know, the Shonen Jump format is like a weekly release, baby. And it still packs in so much shit in it. Like the literal shit that's packed in there. So much shit. And people come because it's once a week, and people gotta come back next week. I wish we had that in comics, and people put in enough to like, hey, people need to come back next month, and not bank on like whatever dying audience we have left. But this is the conclusion. I mean, the tournament arc concluded. This is expanding on it, and it's good. His great grandma is like, oh, you need to know your blood, sonny. And then he's like, oh, you know who I am, do you, granny? I get in people's heads and I just fuck with them. So he does it with his granny. It's good. It's a bit of a filler issue, because again, we're writing for the trade. This would have been like a short few pages instead of like an actual issue. To be like, oh, this is our entire storyline of, you know, of the demon and it being first religion, but then it was more science, but then it was like a little bit of magic, and again we're back to more science, and it's okay. Padded, but it's okay. I do recommend this in trade format. Robin has been the best comic of DC. Sadly, not the best selling, because if it ain't Batman, it don't fucking sell. Jesus fuck. This is a recommend. I'm running myself, of course, because I'm a professional who forgot to get water. when he knew he was going to be talking for quite a while. Now this shit right here is my favorite Western comic. Gunslinger Spawn, my dudes. I know, I'm biased towards Spawn. I've said it before. I'm very biased towards Brett Booth as well because he's among my favorite artists. But this fucking thing slaps. This is comics done right. Even if Todd has planned each issue to be like a trade long, it has so much shit in it. And like I had to stop like page 16 and be like, oh, this had a lot of shit happening. It's probably like gonna end like next page. And then I looked at the page and I was 16. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, there's so much in here. This is proper comics, and I think there's more collaboration in the story between Todd and Brett. And Jesus fucking Christ, it's just beautiful. Like they had like 4 anchors on this one, which probably had some scheduling issues. Maybe the damned paper short was like, hey, we need to get this out early to the printer, so I'm gonna get like 4 anchors on this. Like John Glapion is in this. Adelso is in this. I think Norm Rapon is in as well. No, it's Glapion. It's John Glapion. It's Adelso Corona. It's Todd, and it's Sal Regna, or Regna, however you pronounce his name. But they got it out, and it's fucking beautiful, my dudes. If you're going to buy one comic each month, make that comic be Gunslinger Spawn, please. It's fucking awesome. It's action packed. It has some comedy bits in it. It's my only gripe is with Todd. Todd, listen to me. Todd, stop over narrating. You over narrate in your captions. Bring back thought bubbles and stop over narrating the obvious. It's on the page in the captions. You're double dipping. Claremont did it, and the what's that Jean Grey saga? Dark Phoenix saga, where he like over narrating what's happening on the page. Let Brett show us. He's showing us enough. I know you're writing for an American audience and they're not the brightest bunch, but you have an international audience. We're not stupid. Let us have fun. Again, this is probably the hardest, throbbiest, girthiest, veiniest recommended this week. So please go out and buy it. Next up is... I'm blanking on this name. Oh, No Guts and Glory. Or no Glory, No Guts. I'm forgetting its name. This is done by the same... I don't know about the writer because I'm bad with writer names and I don't care about them. I care about the art more. This is done by the same artist who did Goatman and Rabbit, which was absolutely amazing fun. I think this is by Xenoscope. This is also amazing fun. This is like 32 or 36 pages of absolute content. It's there's like this in this comic. They're this military force. It like kills monsters. Like imagine it's Supernatural, but it was like a military force. And there was a cleanup crew. They were treated poorly because hey, they're the janitors, and you know the military guys are treating them poorly, yada yada. And it's fucking fun, dude. It's more mature. The art is sexy. Like this fucking guy can draw. He can draw the ladies. He can draw the tough dudes. He can draw the monsters. He can draw the action. He can draw the expressions. This is great, dude. Like, if there's a indie comic for you to buy, it's fucking this one. Oh Guts and No Glory, it's something similar. And it's fucking awesome. The art is fantastic. The art... There are times where there's a bit too much talking, but it makes sense because there's a lot of like explaining to it, but I do think it could have been cut down with them being like, hey, chop it up. I know we're getting a 32 page, but there's no excuse for you to blab on the page. Wait, did I just fucking stop it? I did, didn't I? Yep, okay. I misclicked. I'm sorry, I'm a professional. And this Mary Jane and Black Cat issue, which is a fun one-shot, but the writer does not know the characters, because there are people here. I've seen some comments about this online where people are like, wait, why is the Shocker being just a punching bag? And Black Cat is like, oh, that's what he's for. Everybody uses Shocker as a punching bag. Black Cat takes Mary Jane, you know, an actress or a model, on a heist gig. Like Mary Jane just beats Chucker up with a metal bat. It's fun. A lot of the bits are fucking stupid, but the others okay. The girls are drawn like girls, like they're drawn beautiful. And this page has been shared probably a bajillion times now, which is like, you know, this is some nice cheeky stuff where Peter's like, oh, the two most beautiful women in Marvel, like, oh, this shit again, they're both dressed in black leather. You're like, oh, Vicento. I like that they're like, oh man, they have like a poor reaction to it, because, dude, Spider-Man and Mary Jane were like the horniest couple in Marvel. Like, when you look at even when Todd was joining, when Peter David wrote it, they were like fucking all the time, and I was like, oh, you mentioned any of them like having fantasies or whatever, they're like, sexual fantasies. Oh no, not in my puritanical comic. It's fucking stupid. There's a very good bit where MJ and why was I gonna say Tasha? What was I gonna call her Tasha? He's fucking Felicia Hardy. They have a heart-to-heart where Felicia is like, hey, I don't want him back, but he's important to me. And you're fucking perfect, and I'm just called the bad girl. And MJ's like, well, I was a bad girl before. I was a party girl. And have you ever had to compete with Gwen fucking Stacy, who's also dead? And Felicia's like, yeah, you are perfect. It's good that MJ doesn't resent Felicia anymore, at least in this issue. I hope this continues. If you have proper editors, bro, they'll be like, hey, this is good. This is good growth. It's not going to be game breaking as to we're gonna have to do a reboot, but you know, they're gonna do another #1. And we have to reboot their relationship, but it's good. It's been long enough where MJ doesn't have to resent Peter's ex, cause fucking hell. I mean, to be fair, she is Felicia fucking Hardy. I don't know if I can recommend this one, cause the art is good enough, it's serviceable. It doesn't have that X factor that my boy Carlos Gomez had. Like, if he had drawn this issue, oh boy. But the writer disrespects a lot of villains here, which is not good knowledge. It's not good editing. Like, an editor should have been like, hey, this Avenger level threat guy should not be running and groveling to MJ because she's an actress in a soap opera he's watching, or in a TV show he's watching. Like, come the fuck on. And that's it. That was the last one. We're like a little over 30 minutes. These were my notable comics of the week. They're comics I might have skipped, missed intentionally because I just didn't want to talk about them. Because too much negativity gets to me, and I'll prefer to do this more about recommending comics, talk about good comics, instead of just shitting on comics. But to also be fair, I can't just go on and turn a blind eye to bad comics that could be great. Like fucking Detective Comics and XMen. You have amazing artists and you're just misusing them. And that's gonna be all from me this week. Come back next Thursday. We will take a look at the next week's comics. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter. I've been Bale, and this was this week's comics. And if you